e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, knight f6, d3, bishop c5, c3, castle kingside, castle kingside, d5, e takes d5, queen takes d5, bishop c4, queen d8, b4, bishop d6, bishop g5, h6, bishop takes f6, queen takes f6, knight b d2, bishop f5, rook e1, a5, b5, knight e7, knight e4, bishop takes e4, rook takes e4, knight g6, g3, rook a d8, queen e2, rook f e8, rook e1, rook e7, h4, knight f8, knight takes e5, bishop takes e5, rook takes e5, rook takes e5, queen takes e5, queen takes e5, rook takes e5, knight g6, rook f5, rook d7, h5, knight f8, rook e5, g6, h takes g6, knight takes g6, rook e8 check, king g7, king f1, knight e7, king e2, knight f5, rook a8, b6, d4, rook e7 check, king d2, h5, bishop d3, knight h6, bishop e2, knight f5, bishop d3, knight h6, rook d8, knight g4, f3, knight f2, rook d5, king h6, c4, knight h1, g4, h takes g4, f takes g4, knight f2, rook h5 check, king g7, rook g5 check, king f8, bishop f5, knight h3, rook h5, knight f4, rook h2, king g7, g5, rook e8, Rook F2. Knight H5. Bishop D3. Rook E6. King C3. Knight G3. C5. Rook E3. King D2. Rook E6. Rook F4. B takes C5. D takes C5. Rook E5. B6. C takes B6. C takes B6. Rook E6. Rook F6. Knight E4. Check. Bishop takes E4. Rook takes E4. King C3. Rook B4. A3. Rook B1. King C4. A4. King C5. Rook B3. Rook F4. Rook C3. Check. Rook C4. Rook takes A3. B7. Rook B3. Rook B4. Rook C3. Check. King D4. Rook G3. B8 promotes to Queen.